I'm just going to go. I don't even need to do a countdown. This is Ace Trainer Podcast, episode 2. My name's Jaws, joined by Necro, of course, as always. And we got another brand new week of Pokemon news coming at ya. We'll jump right in. Pokemon Go set, something we talked about last week, Rose, that they're actually coming out with a set surrounding Pokemon Go, which is pretty cool. They've released some images, or a couple of them, of the new boxes that they're going to release.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this set. I mean, when we previewed it last week, we weren't super sure like what was going to be involved with some of these pieces, but even the premium collection, I'm really excited about because it's been a while since I feel like we've had a premium collection that's also
Yeah.
included something like a playmat. Like I feel like that's a big bonus item.
Yeah, the playmats are pretty cool, and of course, it's not meant for like every collector either. It's just mainly for people that play, but it also kind of pushes people into playing. It's like, well, I got a playmat now, and maybe I could just go use that at the local or something. I really like the idea too. They've got so I'll quickly go through the sets actually. So you have the collection box, special collection, premium collection, and ETB. I'll quickly run through all of those. Collection box has the promo V card, the classic oversized V card, and the 4 boosters, which is kind of a normal collection box. And by the way, that folder they released with the starters from each generation with the jumbo cards, why
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
that folder not fit the regular oversized cards? Man, that was honestly quite triggering to see that. I'm like, come on, you got to release a folder for these giant cards. I've got so many oversized ones. Anyway,
I
the
know,
the
I feel
special
that.
collection, which I'm super excited about, comes with one of 3 of the trainer cards, which are the leaders. So that's going to be really cool to see. We've not seen them in card form before, so having and in my mind, the way I kind of see these cards is like a Team Aqua versus Team Magma kind of
Yeah.
situation, double crisis situation where you have the themed Pokemon trainer and then the theme, like the Pokemon themed around it, which would be pretty cool. They have the team logo pins and 6 boosters, the premium collection, which comes with the playmat, which you mentioned, a promo, a premium pin, so potentially Surf and Pikachu magnetic pin is what I'm thinking, 8 boosters, and then ETB, classic ETB contents, 10 boosters, dice, etc.
Yeah, and that's something else that I feel like a lot of people, when they look at ETBs for different sets, don't tend to notice. But the special collections for the ETBs tend to have 10 booster packs in them versus something that comes out with a normal set release, like an expansion. Those come with 8. So always check the contents of each of the boxes that you're buying to make sure that you aren't surprised with what you're getting inside of it.
Yeah, make sure you check the back. Read the
Yeah.
packaging. It's kind of cool that they're doing this as well, the Pokemon Go set, and I'm glad they're not doing a Detective Pikachu situation. I liked that. It was a nice little
Mhm.
subset, contained some of the like film stills from the film. That was pretty sweet, but it was a very small set and wasn't really expanded on it too much. I mean,
Yeah.
Pokemon Go's a lot bigger, but what do you feel about this overall? Because it's a subset right now, but it's something so far from what we're normally used to.
I personally really like it. I think that one of the things that I've been noticing over the past few years is that there's been heavier integration of Pokemon Go into just the mainline series. We had Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, which was fantastic, by the way. I think that's probably
Yep.
one of my favorite games that has ever come out, but it had the Go catch mechanics. And so you could play with another person with the Joy-Cons, or you could, use your Switch to kind of like look around and have the motion controls. And so there were a lot of things that I really liked about having that integrated into a video game and then also getting a chance to see Pokemon Go come to cards as well and also to regionals and live events.
Yeah.
It's definitely becoming more mainstream in just Pokemon canon. And so I really like that.
Yeah, it's the Pokemon Company have they do a very good job of interweaving literally every part of the franchise within each other. So releasing Go as on the card side, it was almost inevitable, but honestly, didn't really see it coming. Speaking of new cards, we got some
Hmm.
new Time Juggler and no, sorry, Space Juggler and Time Gazer Japanese cards coming out. The Hisuian cards, and I'll switch over to the 3 box. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna cry. No, it's good. We're fine. Okay, so we have Sneasler V. This is for Space Juggler. Rose can't see it right now, but it's fine. So we're seeing
I
a
know
lot
what it
of,
looks like.
exactly, it's fine. So we're seeing a lot more of these Hisuian cards, which we're not too shocked on, to be honest with you. But it's good to see different forms in the trading card game overall.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think that whenever you see a new region, I think you're almost always expecting at this point that there are going to be regional forms included in that. I remember when Pokemon actually on their Twitter, I think, released what Hisui and Voltorb look like. Everybody lost their
Yes.
minds.
I know, it's crazy. In fact, I do have pictures of it here. We got a Beedrill V. Okay, that's fine. But Hisui and Voltorb, an Electrode. I love these cards. They
Yeah.
are incredible. And love the Pokemon. They're incredible because, of course, the Pokeballs, they're made out of wood in the game and they look exactly like the Voltorb. And he's got. Okay, to be honest with you, the thing that gets me is the giant eyebrows.
Yeah.
Like, that's my favorite part about him.
It's the best. Yeah, it's the absolute best. And I do like that, yeah, they fit right in with the timeline in which you play the game, but also I think it's going to be really interesting to see how these specific cards make an impact on the actual TCG meta. And this is what's interesting to me is that Hisui and Voltorb and Electrode are grass types that also
Yes.
have electric move sets or access to those kinds of moves, or at least I think they will in the future. And th- Interesting, right? Like when you think of Voltorb and Electrode, you always think, oh yeah, that's going to be an electric type in the game for sure.
Yeah, no, it's cool to see that transfer over from the games obviously to the actual card game. It does remind me of Delta Species, EX Delta Species, if you remember
Yeah,
that
yeah,
set back from the original EX era, where you would have a Mewtwo that was a fire type, and you'd have it was like be a Vaporeon, but it would be electric, etc.
yeah.
And like Latios, I believe, were fire and grass type, and it's those kind of mishmashes. Of course, this is a little bit different. It's not like a Pokemon is changing its type like its original form. It's a different form of the
Mhm.
Pokemon, but it's cool to see different forms of the Pokemon, and that reflected both in the moves, in the card game, and also in the artwork too, which is really cool. I'm excited to see the entire set. Of course, we'll have to wait for a little while before we see every single card in English, and they'll I
Mhm.
can imagine Space Juggler and Time Gazer will be combined. But yeah, and wait, let me just bring up my thing. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. They're all from Space Juggler, and I'm sure we'll see some Time Gazer a little bit later on. Let's move on to game news.
Mhm.
Arceus distribution. You can actually get an Arceus in Brilliant, Diamond, and Pearl. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I actually ended up seeing some. It's not shiny locked either, by the way. So I've definitely
Oh,
seen some people do resets for it.
wow.
I'm personally not a super big fan of like the yellow Arceus, but I did see somebody ended up getting the Arceus in like 8 resets.
What?
Yeah, it's
8 reset?
absolutely
Oh my
insane.
god.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm
What?
wrong. This is one of the only legit ways to get a shiny Arceus too, right?
Yeah,
There
it
isn't
is.
too many other, or like there might not be any other ways. I can't really remember. But yeah, you have
Yeah.
to complete the main storyline of Pokemon Legends of Arceus and have that save file on the Switch, and then you get the Azure Flute to catch Arceus in the Diamond and Pearl remake. So that's pretty
Mhm.
sweet.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And I think getting a chance to actually have the ability to shiny hunt for the Arceus has definitely been fun. It's been like a new target for a lot of shiny hunters. And so it's been fun to see people actually pop off when they get
Yeah.
theirs.
Oh my god, yeah. And getting a legit one too is like that's the
Yep.
creme de la creme. Okay, let's talk about regional news that happened. Of course, you were down at Salt Lake City, and there's also a ton of other events going on at the same time. There was a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. So, Salt Lake City was the kickoff to the live event circuit returning to the United States. We had Brisbane regionals in Australia the weekend before, so we were not the first regional, but it was really great to be able to see people in person again and also just feel the excitement and the nerves that were there from being in the convention center with everybody looking at everybody competing. Coming up next, I think we have Liverpool. That's going to be this weekend. And then if you're looking to do some more international events, the European International Championships should have registration open coming up soon. And by the time this
Soon,
video
yeah.
releases, it might just be open. So go check that out on the Pokemon event website. But Jaws, honestly, this weekend, seeing the competition return was also refreshing in a way because It wasn't as meta as we thought it was going to
Okay.
be, taking a look at, like, the winners overall that like, what they brought to the event.
Yeah, you noted down here. I watched a little bit of it. I was a little bit busy this week, but it looks like someone ran a Sun team and an undefeated run of a Sun
Yeah.
team, which is kind of crazy. Like I remember watching Sun teams a long, long time ago. So
Chongjun.
Chongjun Peng, yeah, run a Sun team with Groudon and Charizard, which is really cool to see. A little bit of Grimmsnarl in there as well.
Yeah, so this team was particularly interesting because Gravedon, Charizard, Zacian, Gastrodon, Incineroar, and Grimmsnarl are Pokemon that have been seen together quite a bit. And there were a few other people that were running the exact same six, but Chongjun put some special touches onto this team that made it incredibly difficult to be able to beat in a mirror matchup. So even when we got a chance to see Aaron Zhang in that first top eight match versus Chongjun, I was talking to him and he was saying that this particular team is going to be difficult to beat for Aaron because the Charty Berry on the Charizard to weaken the rock type attacks that would have hit it, as well as
Ooh.
the Shuka Berry on the Incineroar to mitigate like the first super effective ground type attack. Those were two interesting techs on Chongjun's team that made it very difficult to be able to just eliminate those threats in one hit, because that's kind of your job against a team like this, is to, Oko the Charizard or Oko the Incineroar so that you can get in your big threats.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of nine head, to be honest, from
Yeah.
Chongjun. That's really cool. It's a really understanding of the meta and like how different teams would end up countering him going straight in. So that's
Mhm.
that's incredible. And an undefeated run too. That's not something you
Yeah.
usually see in any kind of esport or competition. So
No.
congratulations to him. There was a nice little VMAX deck as well, which contained some of the V Star cards, Arceus V Star and Gengar VMAX deck, which
Mhm.
also won. That was piloted by Drew Kennett. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's awesome because this is Drew's second regional win, and a lot of people going into this weekend, and you could even see this from the results of just kind of like what people were running in even just top 32. It was a lot of Mew VMAX. And so
Oh, I
that's what people were
see.
kind of expecting to be more at the forefront of the meta, and it was definitely present. Like let's not kid ourselves. It was in the majority of the decks that were run, but it was a pretty good indicator when you sat down in front of your opponent and they had a V-star marker, you knew you were probably facing Arceus V-star
Yeah.
instead.
We talked about it last week, in fact, about the V Star kind of mechanics and how it would impact the card game, and it's cool to see it already winning
Yeah.
something, and yeah, bringing that out. I can't imagine the dread. Honestly, you sit down, you're like, well, okay, that's not good. Like I haven't prepped for this at all. It's great to
Yeah,
see brand new cards being working its way in and actually winning tournaments like this, and of course it would be Arceus, by the way. Like, of course
of
it would
course.
be. It's like the Pokemon of the month at this point. We have the distribution. We also have the game that came out recently and now is also winning tournaments. So that's pretty cool. I wonder what Pokemon is going to be next. Let's move on to another game, Pokemon Unite. Their finals are going to be streamed soon. So, this weekend, in fact, on
Yep.
twitch.tv/Pokemon Unite. That has been an interesting thing to watch as well in how the meta for that game's kind of evolving because Rose, there's an unbelievable amount of Pokemon they could add, and they just keep adding
I
them.
know.
Like it seems like every other day I see a new Pokemon added to the game, and I'm like, how are the people at the top keeping up with this? Like it's nuts.
I it's tough to. But I think that at the end of the day, I kind of want to see Pokemon Unite as an esport move to a similar kind of pick ban system that we see in like League of Legends, right? There's
Right.
going to be so many licenses, and especially at the pace that they're getting them out, keeps the game really fresh, and it also keeps the meta really fresh. Like Duraludon right now is absolutely busted. I think this thing is way overtuned, but we've seen that a lot with kind of any of the license releases, that Pokemon starts out really overtuned, and then you play with it a little while and the developers are able to figure out, okay, how do we get this to take the spot in the meta that we want it to, or like a spot in a composition that we want it to. And I really like that concept because we saw this a lot in like StarCraft, I think, as well, where balance patches, maybe
Yeah.
something was really overtuned and then the developers had time, because that was kind of on purpose, but the developers had time to actually look at how players were engaging in these specific balance notes and then could make adjustments appropriately.
Yeah, it happens in a lot of MOBAs. Also, like League of Legends, for example,
Yep.
they when they release a new champion, whoa, look, it's really, really good, and a lot of people are playing it. But in League, you can ban it. So in
True.
ranked, at least, when the new champion's released, and you can actually play it in ranked, boom, it's hit on the bans for like 99% of games, and if it's not banned, someone's going to pick it up. So yeah, moving Pokemon Unite to a pick ban phase would be kind of cool. I guess you'd have to keep it quite slim to start off with, because there aren't
I
many
think so.
licenses right now, so maybe
I
only
think
1 to 2 bans.
I think you'd have to wait also. I think
Okay.
you'd have to wait until the roster of licenses available is big enough that a pick ban system would work. But
Mhm.
I mean, the fact that Duraludon is included now, I can't wait to see what kind of compositions these teams are going to run and whether or not also Game and Warriors can kind of do the run back, right? They just won in February, and they've been consistently at the top of the North American ladder for I don't know how long at this point. So it'll be exciting to see if they can kind of keep it up.
Yeah. Let's go on
If they can
to
even compete. I don't
yeah.
know because they won one. And I'm not entirely sure how that works, but if they're competing, let's go Game and Warriors. But
Yeah, let's go. Well, the March finals are streamed this weekend, and one final note on that, I think it's really good that we're seeing a lot of competition for the game too, which is
Mhm.
great. It was really immensely popular, like when it was released, all the Overwatch League talent were playing it, like it was
Yeah.
crazy. Like people were on every single day, so that was really awesome to see. So yeah, go check that out on twitch.tv/Pokemon Unite. Pokemon Go news. We have the Lush Jungle event Rose coming out. New special research, timed research, and shiny hunters out there. We have a shiny Cottony available.
Yep. Yeah, so there's a special park spotlight hour that's happening on Saturday where Cottony will be spawning a little bit more frequently, and the fact that you have shiny Cottony making its debut, definitely want to go check that out. But also we have new Pokemon that are going to be introduced into the game. I've already caught a couple Fomantis, so I'm pretty pumped about that. But we've got Fomantis, Lurantis, and then also Tapu Lele in Pokemon raids. So that's kind of all that there is right now. But it's if you're doing the special research and the timed research, sorry friends, it does require you to go touch some grass. Like you got to do some kilometer you gotta walk some kilometers in order to actually get through some of those steps, but it's a really fun time.
It's okay. That's how you get your exercise at the end of the day, right? Just go out
Yeah.
Pokemon Go, and that was when the game first came out. That was basically all I was doing, like walking
Yeah.
to the gym and just playing Pokemon Go. It was pretty good. Didn't get hit by a car, luckily. So,
Oh, good.
make sure you're looking both ways before you cross though when you're playing Pokemon Go. That's for sure. Last segment is a new one, but we were going to do it last week, but we didn't. It's Pokemon Card of the Week. Next time, I'm just thinking about it right now. I should add some special music to this scene transition, but we do have a card from Time Gazer. We thought it looked incredible, and yeah, in holo form, this is going to look crazy if it is a holo. I don't think it will be because it's uncommon by the looks of it in the bottom left, but it is Shaman, which is pretty damn sick.
Yeah, I love the card art of this card. Like honestly, Shaman has never looked happier in its natural
Yep.
habitat. So that's something that always jumps out at me about some of this artwork is that I think the cards that stand out to me the most are always the ones where you're looking at a Pokemon as it would be in the wild.
Yeah, same. Like that is that's the pinnacle of Pokemon cards in my opinion. That and like with their trainers too, like it
Yeah.
just looks incredible. And I always think about Double Crisis honestly when the Kyogre EX and the Groudon EX full arts where they're with their trainers, but the Kyogre one like they're all underwater, and yeah, the Groudon one they're on top of a mountain kind of thing. And yeah, seeing Pokemon cards like this is pretty sick. It's gonna look good in English, that's for sure. Hopefully it's a
Oh
holo in
yeah.
English. This is uncommon, so it won't be unfortunately, but a holographic version of this would be pretty awesome too. Also, one final note on Shaman. Don't forget to get your letter from Professor Oak in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. This is the last weekend to get Shaman in the game. And it's amazing that they're doing so many legendary and mythical Pokemon releases in those
Mhm.
games, because I feel like a lot of people are getting back into the game at this point, and you kind of need to catch up in that respect.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Like mythical Pokemon are actually banned in VGC, and it's because of the lack of accessibility. And when you take a
Yeah.
look at how far Pokemon has cycled through these mythicals in past events, yeah, you're definitely missing some if you are from the new wave of players that came through with like Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield.
Yeah, so actually being able to complete like a living dex or just a dex is kind of nice, because they're like Mew, for example. I had to get the Pokeball version of
Yeah.
Pokemon Let's Go to get that to get the Mew. Like I just had to do it.
Hmm.
Mew's one of my favorite Pokemon, so it's good to see we're seeing a lot of those being re-released, and Arceus especially. Shiny, maybe, if you can stomach the resets. I mean, it'll be definitely worth it when you do end up doing that. But that is going to be it for this week. It wasn't a crazy amount of news, but it was good to hear stuff from the regionals. Of course, you went, and Pokemon Go set. We'll update you guys as much as we possibly can, because I want to see what kind of cards they're going to release, and I want to see those promos.
Me too.
Gonna be real. All right, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Like and subscribe, and other than that, me and Rose will see you next week. See you later.